Hello everybody, Save MGS here. Today I'm going to give you my predictions for UFC on Box 7. I'm going to give you my predictions for the top 4 fights on the card. So let's get started here. First up we have Jordan Young Gun Mean, and he'll be fighting Matt the Immortal Brown. Okay, Jordan Mean is 23 years old, has a record of 27 wins and 8 losses. And Matt Brown is 32 years old, and he has a record of 16 wins and 11 losses. Don't be fooled by Matt Brown's record. He is on a 4-fight winning streak, and he's been very impressive. And I would like to say his last 7 or so bouts, even the ones he's lost. Okay, Jordan Means the much younger fighter in this situation, but Matt Brown, he seems to enter his prime as a fighter. He's finally figured out a way to put it all together, and I think Matt Brown's going to take this fight. I mean, people have counted out Matt Brown time and time and time again, and as of the past year, he fought 4 times in 2012, and 3 of those were by TKO or knockout. And he's just been looking very impressive as of late. And Jordan Meme, he's on quite a streak too. I believe he's only lost 1 fight in his last 9 or so. So yeah, he's been quite impressive as of late as well. But I think Matt Brown's just gonna be able to make Jordan Meme fight Matt Brown's fight. Now, will he finish Jordan Meme? I don't know. That's why we fight them. But I think Matt Brown's going to take this fight. So, yeah. Okay, next up on the card we have Nate Diaz versus Josh Thompson. Now, this is a very interesting fight. I mean, Josh Thompson, Gilbert Melendez just had a Fight of the Year candidate last year, and that was one hell of a fight. I mean, if you didn't see that fight, um, you have to go back and watch it. It was a truly impressive fight. Thompson and Melendez fought 3 times before. Thompson won 1, Gilbert won 2. But geez, those are all impressive fights. Okay. Honestly, I think Nate Diaz is going to take this fight. He's another guy with one of those weird records. He has a record of 16 and 8. And, since moving back down to 155, he's been on an absolute rampage. I mean, he was, he did lose to the current champion, Vincent Henderson. But there's no shame in that. And, yeah. Nate Diaz just seems to be on a tear as of late. Oh, I hope I didn't call him Nick the first time I brought up his name. But Josh Thompson's a very impressive fighter. I mean, he just goes out and puts on a show every single time. And there's not a boring Josh Thompson fight. I mean, he's fought a whole bunch of notable names. I mean, he's fought Gilbert Melendez, as I said, KJ Noons, Nam Fan. He beat Nam Fan. He lost to Craig Guida like 6, 7 years ago. He lost to Yves Edwards, I believe, almost a decade ago. I mean, he's just fought a whole bunch of names. He's won over a bunch. And you know what? So has Nate Diaz. I mean, Nate Diaz beat Jim Miller. He has one of the best records in the lightweight division. I think he has a record like 25 and 3 or something. It might not be that, but it's something close to that. I mean, he's fought Gray Maynard, Joe Stevenson, Rory McDonald, Bongham Now Kim. But as I said before, I think Nate Diaz is going to take this by unanimous decision. But this is my pick for fight of the night, most definitely. Okay, next up on the card we have Daniel Cormier versus Frank Mir. Now this is an interesting fight. Now, there's always been that thing with Frank Mir, like much like there's with BJ Penn. Now, there's motivated BJ Penn, and then there's unmotivated BJ Penn. And the same thing can be said about Frank Mir. I mean, Frank Mir in the Road to the Octagon special they've been running, he said this is really the first time he's had a proper training camp, with Greg Jackson's. And I'm not really quite sure on that. But as I said before, I think this is just going to be an interesting bout. I mean, if Mir wins, he's not really in line for a title shot. If Cormier wins, he would be in line for a title shot, but he's not going to take it against Kane. And yeah, the outcome of this fight just really doesn't matter in the future of the heavyweight division. I mean, I guess Mir's going to beat most heavyweights he goes against, and so will Cormier. But in terms of title implications, there's really none. I mean, unless Kane loses the title to Antonio Bigfoot Silva, which I think Ken Shamrock has a better chance of beating Tito Ortiz if they had a fourth fight right now, to be quite honest, than that happening. But I digress. I'm going to take Frank Mir because Cormier has fought a fighter very similar to Frank Mir and Josh Barnett regarding submissions, and Barnett was able to give him a lot of problems, even though Cormier won that bout. But Frank Mir has extremely underrated stand-up. I mean, he knocked out Nogueira for fight 6. He even submitted Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. I mean, yeah, he's the only man who can say that. So yeah, I'm going to take Frank Mir. But this could very well go in the Cormier's favor. Okay, next up on the card, we have the main event of the evening. Benson Henderson versus Gilbert Melendez. Now, much like Nate Diaz and Josh Thompson, I think this is going to be a hell of a bout. We have Gilbert Melendez, who has a record of 21-2, and Benson Henderson has a record of 18-2. These are both high-quality fighters. Benson Henderson's going to come into this bout a much bigger man at 5'9", and by fight time he's probably going to weigh about 170, 175 pounds. And Melendez, he cuts like a whole 5 pounds to make lightweight. So, yeah, Benson Henderson's going to have quite the size advantage. And I'm going to take Benson Henderson to win this bout via unanimous decision. I mean, even though Benson Henderson has shown the ability to finish fights before via submission, he's not going to submit Gilbert Melendez. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't happen. Okay, and I don't think Benson Henderson can finish Melendez. I mean, the man's only lost 2 fights and he's never been finished. I mean, the same can't be said about Henderson. He's lost by decision and once by submission. I believe that submission loss was to some dude named something Johnson. It happened like 7 years ago, though. So you really can't judge his submission defense now from what it was then. But I'm going to pick Benson Henderson to win this fight. I think he's the superior wrestler who will be able to put Melendez on his back and beat him up, much like that old Tito Ortiz style. And I don't think Menendez is going to be able to get back up from that. So yeah, those are my picks. So I'll say them one more time. I have Matt Brown, Nate Diaz, Frank Mir, and Henderson. Okay, everybody, have a very nice day, and comment, tell me what you think, agree or disagree, whatever. Okay, have a nice day.